So on this program, we've discussed LifeWise Academy, a Christian ministry that brings weekly Bible lessons to public school children during school hours through what is called time release of students. Now, this is something that goes back to a court decision in 1952, been around a long time. Now, the ministry has experienced phenomenal success, setting up chapters at more than 520 locations in 23 states. Next school year, reaching about 31,000 students with biblical teaching during the school day. Now, it's usually about an hour or two during the course of the week. But with that success comes a backlash from the legacy media, these anti-Christian groups, and even some state legislators. Recently, in fact, over the weekend, the Associated Press attempted a hit piece of concern about children receiving instruction from the Bible. You know, where's the concern about children being exposed to the sexualized messages of the LGBT agenda? And the fact that during Pride Month, many public libraries are doing these drag queen story hours, but yet they're lamenting children being released, going off of school property, no school dollars involved. This is simply ministries reaching out 1 to maybe 2 hours a week to help these kids. Well, joining me now to discuss this is Joel Penton. He's the founder and CEO of LifeWise Academy. Joel, welcome back to Washington Watch.
Tony, thanks so much for having me. It's an honor.
So, Joel, it looks like you guys have, your success has rattled a few cages, and the left may be concerned that their drag queen story time hours might be missing a few students, are out there saying that this is a horrible thing.
Well, I tell you what, they try to make it sound like a controversy, but I'd have to say it's a manufactured controversy, because the truth is we are being welcomed with open arms. When we go and meet with schools, 93% of the time, we're able to come to an agreement with schools. We have incredible responses from parents, from community members, but there is a small segment of our society, for whatever reason, really doesn't like to see the next generation in increasing numbers being taught the Word of God.
Now, I want to take on some of the arguments laid out in this Associated Press article over the weekend, some lamenting that, look, test scores are declining, literacy rates are on the decline. We can't afford to have kids missing out on instruction.
Well, I tell you what, if people are concerned about literacy rates, if they're concerned about kids missing class, then they should love what we're doing with LifeWise Academy, because a third-party independent study shows that when LifeWise Academy is implemented, attendance goes up to the point there's a net increase in class time. For one, students who attend LifeWise typically miss zero class. It's at lunchtime or recess time, or it's library time. But even beyond that, kids are showing up for school that much more. They're spending a lot more time in class, which is why you're seeing behavior improve, you're seeing test scores improve. And so those with those concerns should love what we're doing.
So Joel, are you saying that when kids are able to step outside of the school for an hour, maybe 2 hours a week, and hear a message that there's a God who made them and loves them, it gives them motivation to go to school and do their best?
Well, absolutely. I mean, they're seeing the result, and it's not just me saying that. I mean, this is looking at publicly available data that kids are showing up more. In fact, we just heard from an inner city principal that said the one day out of the week that she hits her target attendance numbers, which is above 90%, is the day that they have LifeWise. She said that she has seen their disciplinary issues drop by 50%. So yes, I mean, it's not a surprise to us that when you invest the Word of God into the hearts of children, it produces fruit.
And this is all done legally. Supreme Court decision going back to 1952. In fact, this has been going on for decades. Just not all schools have taken advantage of it, but now we've got ministries like yours that are focused on helping schools be able to allow students to have this experience. So here's what I want to ask you, Joel. I love it. I think it is so important that we talk to these kids during this very formative time in their life when their worldview is being formulated. How can people help you?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked. The truth is that this can work anywhere across the country. As you mentioned, we are going to be live next year in over 500 schools across 23 states. Some of those are inner city, suburban, rural, and everyone who's listening right now can get involved. If you go to our website, lifewise.org, you can look up any school district in the nation. The way these things get started is through local people voicing their support. So you can find your local school. You can say, yes, I want this in my community. When we see 50 signatures in a community, then we begin the rest of the process of forming a steering committee, of going to the school, all of the many steps. But it starts with people saying, I want this in my community, and sharing it with everyone you know.
If there was ever a time that our kids needed the ability to hear this messages that God created them, loved them, and they have a future, now is the time. Joel, I commend you for your work, and we're going to encourage people to check out the website and get involved in their local communities to see LifeWise come to their school. So, Joel, thanks so much for joining us today.
Tony, thanks so much for having me.